Good evening, YouTube. Matt M. Roy back once again. Well. 2 in 2 days. You're getting a couple of different live streams from me while I'm trying to get this lighting just perfect. Wow, that actually looks really good. I hope we get a lot of people that are able to make it here tonight. Let me try to see if I'm better with or without my glasses. Oh, definitely with. I don't know. What do you guys think? You like the glasses? I do. Well, before we get a lot of people here, I wanted to give a shout out, a very happy birthday to actress and one of my personal favorites, Lydia Cornell. You guys may remember her from a little show called Too Close for Comfort, later on rebranded the Ted Knight Show, when she and her sister, Deborah Van Valkenburger, left. So little shout out to them. Lydia, if you see this now or in post-production, I love it. I was watching some of the older episodes the other day on YouTube, and I did hear that one of the local networks is going to be rerunning Too Close for Comfort. And let me see if I can remember where you can watch it. It was one of the antenna, Pluto TV. If you go to Pluto TV, you can watch Too Close for Comfort for free. And I've actually used them a few times. Let me see if I can pull that up. Pluto TV. What is it? PlutoTV.com, something like that. Yep. So if any of you out there want to watch Too Close for Comfort, you can do that at Pluto TV. Right now it's Walker, Texas Ranger. But I thought it was like a streaming thing that you could watch too. Maybe not. Live TV. Okay, there's live TV, and then there's on-demand TV. Let's see if Too Close for Comfort's in the on-demand section. Come on. All in the Family. Got Here's Lucy, The Millers. Oh boy, that was an interesting one. I am not seeing Too Close for Comfort though. You may have to watch that. I know they got Becker, they got The Odd Couple, the new one, and the old one. Actually, it's just the new one, I think. Here we go. Too Close for Comfort. There we go. So if you want to watch Too Close for Comfort on demand, you just click that link and that'll bring you to Pluto TV. And yeah, looks like they have let's see if they have all the episodes up to season 6. Yeah, they got everything on here. And season 6 was actually a really good season too. Although that was when it was rebranded the Ted Knight Show and they moved to Marin Valley. And unfortunately, Lydia, I'm not sure why you guys left. If you ever come to one of these live streams, you'll have to tell me why you left the show at that point. All right, so what do you all think? I'm trying to rock the mustache and the little goatee now. I haven't shaved in a few days. Haven't really been out of the house too much lately, just kind of chillaxing. My stitches, for some reason, over the past few days have really been bothering me, so I've kind of just stayed in and relaxed. Haven't really been doing too much work anyway, but yeah, you could see the goatee is really coming in. The mustache, I think, more than the goatee. But really can't complain. Everything else has been going well. And talking about moving forward, you might have seen the little icon that I put for the thumbnail. I don't know, my mind just went blank for a second for the thumbnail. Talking about moving forward is we're trying to do new things, basically. And this channel is definitely going to be changing. I may be getting a full-time job here in the near future. It's all going to depend on when I can finish up the surgeries, because I can't really change my insurance right now. But I really want this job. It's with that local, possibly with that local firm, Dillinger's, the ones you guys always see me promoting on the channel. Again, not sponsored. They don't pay me for any of this. They don't give me like any freebies or anything like that. But basically with them, I'd be the delivery driver. I would drive people back and forth from there are different appointments. Like I drive them back home if they have to leave their vehicle for any length of time. And I'd also be moving vehicles around the parking lot, probably also doing some cleaning and various odd jobs like that. And with my anxiety and with my other issues, that's probably one of the better jobs for me, because they were going to offer me like it was going to be something like a service writer job. And if you've ever been a service writer, that can get like really super stressful. My father had a service writer job in the past. I'm just playing around with the lights here, so just don't mind me for a minute. I'm trying to get the best lighting. Yeah, I'm not sure I like that. I think it was better the other way. But anyway, the service writer jobs are very stressful. Like you have to be on point. You have to be ready for people to get angry a lot of the times because, you know, something didn't go their way, or the vehicle is going to be more expensive than they thought. It's going to take longer to repair. It's just one of those jobs that you have to be very, very, you have to have a good psyche for. And I just don't think I have the psyche for that job. You know what? Who knows? I mean, it could change. You know, that's the whole thing, trying to get out there back into the world, trying to do different things. You never know. So I see we got 5 people here already. George Blakely says hi. George Stewart said hi, waving back to you guys. I'm liking the lighting situation here right now. I'm using one of these fluorescent LED. Are these LED? This is LED because this, well, yeah, this is an LED light, I think. But basically, I'm using this with the Logitech C922 streamer cam and the Yeti Blue blackout mic, which I've had a lot of good luck with this. You guys, in the live streams, have been hearing this mic for a long time. I just got to play around with the gain a little bit. Hopefully everybody's hearing me nice and clear. So I want to do a little more interactive stuff tonight. And I think we're going to get a few more people here. I see we got 6 people already. So ask me the questions that you all want to ask. I know somebody's going to want to know about that van that I got. And, you know, did I make the good decision, or did I pull a Tyler Hoovy? Did I make a bum choice with that? I'm starting to think that it was an all right choice, although I did have to say I'm still having issues with the power door locks. Actually, it's the passenger side power door lock. That one, I think I'm going to pay one of our old mechanics to come over and change that. It was something I was thinking of trying to do myself. But unfortunately, it's very involved in that vehicle. And that vehicle, you have to take most of the door apart. You got to take not only the door panel off, you got to take the speaker out. You have to take part of the window motor and regulator out just to get to the actuator, which is the part we're thinking is bad. So, yeah, I think I'm probably just going to have to bite the bullet and pay somebody to do it. I don't like having to do that. I never do. If it's something that I think I can even remotely do myself, I would rather save the money and do it myself. But in this case, I don't see that being a possibility. George Stewart asked, did you guys sell your RV? Yes, we did. Unfortunately, with my dad's health, we really weren't able to take it out much anymore. The RV was sold a couple of years ago now, and we actually sold the truck. So we don't even have the truck to pull it anymore. Although I guess technically my Tahoe could probably pull it. Got Milo laying in the back here. He might come up and say hi in a few minutes. Let me see if I turn this on, if it's going to make much of a difference. Not really. Kind of drowns me out a little bit more, though. Yeah, you can see it's still a mess back there. I said I was going to get to those computers today. I never did. I never had a chance to get to those computers today. So, yeah, lately my anxiety has been getting the best of me. I've just been kind of laying in bed a lot. And that's why I wanted to do one of these live streams, because I think a lot of people out there, especially now with everything that's going on in the world, and I'm going to go ahead and turn this off because I think the lighting was better without it. are suffering from some of the same problems that I am: anxiety, depression, just sometimes you get that hopelessness feeling, but you know what? You always got to keep going. There's always something better out there. Try something different. I give you guys an example. Lately, I've been getting out, handing out flyers to try to promote my computer business. And that's actually been going decently well. I've had a couple, I haven't made any sales from it yet, but I've had a couple of inquiries, and it's got to get a start somewhere. George Will says, "Hey, Matt." Hey, George, nice to see you. Haven't seen you guys in a while. I remember when you came in and visited us a while back. George Stewart goes, "Yes, it's terrible and it attacks a lot of people. You got to talk to the Lord at night before you go to sleep." Yes, you do. I pray every night, not just for myself, but for family and friends, and basically for mental health. I tell you, mental health nowadays is one of the hardest things to deal with. There are a lot of conspiracies going on out there about where a lot of this is coming from. I've talked to quite a few people, and I see a therapist, but I talk to a lot of people, and they all seem to be going through the same things that I am, with this anxiety and this depression and this having a hard time sleeping. And we've kind of come to a consensus about this. Okay, so we got all these cell phone networks now. We still got 3G out there, we got 4G, and now we got 5G. And I've talked a little bit about this in the past, but 5G is a macro wave. It's a very dense wave, and it takes a long time to go through solid mass, and that includes people, your brain, your body. And I truly believe that these cell phone, they're going to find years from now, after we're all gone, that these cell phones were affecting us a lot more than they realized. I honestly do believe that these waves are affecting us. They're keeping us up at night. They're keeping our brains more stimulated. So I don't know about you guys, but I tend to get these racing thoughts. And before we had cell phones, I never had these problems. So you tell me what you guys think. Read Psalm 37 when you get a chance. I'm working on my Ardix Linux install at the moment. Cool beans. And this is Leonard Kilbourne. Psalm 37. I'm going to have to look that one up. Psalm 37. New International Version. "Do not fret because of those who are evil, or be envious of those who do wrong. For like the grass, they will soon wither. Like green plants, they will soon die away. Trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and enjoy safe pasture. Take delight in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart." Well, hopefully your heart has got good desires, because yes, definitely. 5G does indeed affect brain activity. There are studies out there. I think one was done by the Mayo Clinic. Let's see if I can find that article. This one is actually by IEEE Explorer. The rapid release of 5G communication networks has spurred renewed concerns regarding radiation with living specimens. We examine RF exposure and absorption in vivo bovine brain tissue and a brain stimulating gel at these different frequencies: 1.9, 4 gigahertz, and 39 gigahertz. So basically typical 4G and upcoming 5G networks, which are out now. We introduced high sensitivity thermal method for the assessment of radiation exposure and derive experimentally accurate relations between the temperature, specific absorption rates, or SARS, and the this is a big one, incident power density. And that's the one I was talking about. And basically what they're saying here is it's found that more sensitive experiments on a brain tissue exposure to multimeter wave radiation to date, with a detection limit of 1 meter wave. We examined the beam penetration, absorption, and thermal diffusion of 4G, 5G frequencies, so that RF heating increases rapidly with frequencies due to RF source wavelength and increasing power density. See, basically what they're saying in layman's terms, they're saying that the higher the networks go, the denser the waves, and the denser the waves, the more the radiation, and in this case, the heat, because radiation is heat, affects our brains. And they don't know. The problem right now is they don't know how the 5G networks are really affecting us. These are speculations. They're even saying that 5G, depending on your body, your chemistry, can increase the odds of you having higher blood pressure. 5G and brain tumors. I mean, it goes on and on and on. I mean, you can read all these different articles about it, and it wasn't as bad with the older ones because of that wavelength. And it scares me to death when I read this, and it correlates so well with when we started seeing a huge uptick in mental health issues, people not sleeping well, people getting diagnosed with bipolar, which I've been diagnosed with that, unfortunately. ADHD, people that maybe had mild symptoms early on, it's gotten so much worse now that these networks are out there. Trevor Pearson, technology is great and I love it, but unfortunately, it seems to be our downfall sometimes. It really does. And okay, so think about this. So let's say, oh, I see Tech Time with Eric's here. Got to say hi to Eric. Shout out to Eric. Hey, Mark, nice to see you. We're actually talking about 5G and the effects of 5G on the body. And my whole premise on this is we're going to find it that this was a lot more harmful than they originally thought. You know, they do these studies, the cell phone industry, and all these different basically the cell phone industry is supposed to do all these studies before they put out a new network saying, okay, this is going to be safe. Well, they might do these studies and they'll put these studies out and they'll publish them, and it'll say it falls within the recommended or the allowed amount of radiation per unit. What is it called? Rads, like who knows? I mean, maybe it puts out 1 or 2 rads or something for each area that it intrudes on. And they may say that's acceptable. Well, it may be acceptable to the body, like you're not going to get radiation poisoning. But we don't know what even that little bit of radiation or heat is going to do to the brain. I mean, it's all this stimulation, not to mention the fact that we are on our phones all the time, me included, folks. I'm not immune to this. I sleep with the phone next to my bed, which I'm actually going to stop doing because I find that if I'm laying down at night and I can't sleep well, I'm just there with my phone. I just look at my phone. I'm on Facebook. I'm looking to figure out what I want to do the next day. And I don't always sleep well because of it. So, long story short, you want to make sure that I got to be careful when I say this. You want to make sure. Oh, thank you, Mark. Mark Covington gave a $5 super chat there. What is radiation? The definition of radiation, I'd have to look that up exactly, but radiation is what atomic bombs and, I probably shouldn't have said that on here, but it's basically what the nuclear bomb produces. So radiation, the energy that comes from the source and travels through space and at the speed of light. So basically it's heat through speed. What is it? The energy has the electric field and the magnetic field associated with it and has wave-like properties. I don't like that. I do not like that definition. Anybody on here who's a little bit better at science than I am, see if you can give Mark a better definition for radiation. It's energy that comes from the source and travels through the speed of light. That's what they're basically giving. The CDC gives us what radiation is. George Stewart, definition. Oh, definitely something up with it. Had a cousin. I had a brain tumor behind the ear with the use of a cell phone. Now he refuses to talk on it just by speaker mode because he uses the phone all day long for work. Oh, okay. I heard you. It's always somebody trying to get me. Yeah, I absolutely believe that. They found that I don't know if I want to say this on here because this is not really family friendly, but I'll say this as nice as possible. They found years ago that police officers were getting a certain type of cancer, more specifically, male police officers were getting a specific type of cancer because they were putting their radar guns in between their legs when they weren't using them. And that's all I'm going to say about that. You guys can extrapolate the rest from that from there. But yeah, we just don't know what's going to happen. Eric goes, I am kind of annoyed. I finally had time to film the video that I wanted to film, but two important things were missing. It's about to bring up the police radar thing too. I think everybody's heard about that. Oh, that was mom in the background. She was trying to tell me that Baxter is in his new box. He's been having a lot of fun, and we built him this new house. It's like a cardboard house with a scratching post inside. You get them at Aldi, and we built it. I built most of it. Mom put the roof on earlier. And once again, Mark, thank you for that super chat. Super chats are appreciated. They're not expected, but they're always appreciated. Wow, a cat that has no interest in boxes. I can't even imagine that. My cats love their boxes so much. It's unbelievable. So, since I have Eric here, Eric, I don't know if you had heard, but I actually purchased a used vehicle the other day. I got a 2018 Dodge Grand Caravan, which I am immensely pretty happy with, let's say, but I'm having issues with the passenger power door lock regulator, well, actuator, I think, because it won't unlock or lock the passenger door. I'm thinking I'm going to have our mechanic come out because I don't think it's something Dad and I can handle ourselves. I found out that you have to basically take apart the entire passenger door just to get to the actuator. So I think I'm going to have to bite the bullet and pay our mechanic to actually do it, or a friend of ours, I should say. You know, I didn't see the comment. I don't know why I'm not getting comments for some reason. They used to come right into my inbox. Everybody's doing okay, Mark. Yeah, we're hanging in there. You know, I sometimes have my moments, but they're coming less and less. Let's put it that way. Careful choosing around with. Oh, okay. Okay, you were talking about the doing the oil change. Luckily, I don't have to worry about that. The dealership that I bought it from offers free oil changes for the life of the vehicle. So hopefully, I'll never have to actually do it on that vehicle. But I'm kind of curious, Eric. What do you think? I'm not too familiar with that 3.6 liter variable valve timing engine. Other than the fact I heard it's a pretty reliable motor, they had never had a lot of issues with them. And it's got that same 6-speed transmission that the old van had. Yeah, I read it. I was able to pop up that comment. You don't have to be nice, Eric. You never do. You be honest. Tell me what you think. I know some people don't like that engine. I've heard both sides of the triangle on that one. Some people really liked it. Some people really didn't. I will tell you this much: it's got 112,000 miles on it, and it runs perfectly. I mean, there isn't even when it's cold, there isn't even the resemblance of any kind of noise, engine noise. You wouldn't buy a Fiat era Chrysler product. Yeah, I kind of wrestled with that myself. I wanted a van other than the one that I had, the red one, because it was just too big, too hard to drive, and I kind of made an impulsive decision. And I don't know. Well, luckily, worst case scenario, I actually owe less on this vehicle. It's worth more than I owe. So I have positive equity in this van. So if something happens, or if I think something's going to happen to it, then worst case scenario is I'm just going to trade it in, or I'll sell it to Carvana because they'll give me more than I actually owe on it. But I still won't make out. I'll still probably wind up losing money in the long run. But that's the thing with cars. One thing you got to learn with cars, and Eric will probably back this up, you almost never make money when you flip vehicles. Yeah, exactly. And that was my other thing. None of the other two popular American brands, i.e. Ford and Chevy, don't make a minivan. And I was going to consider a foreign vehicle. I was looking at some Honda Odysseys and some Toyota Siennas, but at the end of the day, they didn't have the same features or lower mileage that this one did. And that's kind of why I went with the Chrysler, the Dodge Grand Caravan, which so far, other than the power door lock not working on the passenger side, it seems to be a good vehicle. It's bare bones. It's definitely the base model, which I kind of like. Manual or manual everything. Seats. It does have power lock. It does have the power locks, power windows. The air conditioning, dual zones. It has Bluetooth radio, the U-Sync and everything. It's got all that, but it doesn't have like heated seats. It's got cloth seats, which I actually don't mind because there's a lot less to go wrong when you talk about having a vehicle that's minimally spec'd. Ford, Windstar, and Chevy Venture, yeah, they did for a time make minivans, but now they're older, and I was never a big fan of either of them. The Ford Windstar, although a fairly reliable vehicle, was very cramped. I remember when I would sit in the driver's seat of one, it was really, really tiny. And the Chevy Venture was a terrible, terrible vehicle. They had so many problems with those. Trevor Peterson, I think the American brands have a hard time competing with the Japanese counterparts. They do. Quality wise, you really can't beat the Japanese vehicles. I would actually say Japanese vehicles on top, American vehicles, and then probably the European ones because they've really gone downhill. Mercedes and BMW, their quality is gone even further down, I think, than some of the American cars. But only time is going to tell. It wasn't. It may have been a mistake, but it was my mistake to make, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. So far, I do like the vehicle, and it is the flex fuel version of that engine, from what I can tell. It doesn't say it on the back, but it's got the yellow gas cap. Eric goes, once my uncle and I finish working on his new car, I will own a vehicle you'd never expect to see me in. It was going to be something like a Mercedes or a BMW. But it would buy a brand new, what did he say, Trevor? Oh, that was for Trevor. Leonard Kilmer, I love my 99 Corolla built like a tank. Yeah, those were really solid vehicles. I had a friend with a 1990 or an 89 or a 90 Corolla, one of the earlier models. And, that was a great vehicle. I think he got like 256 or 260,000 miles out of that before the tranny went. And to be honest, the only reason the tranny went is the way he would drive it. He actually was really hard on vehicles. Dabbler's Buffet. Hey, I'm doing okay. Hanging in there. Eric goes, 2011 Toyota Prius. Okay, my mind wasn't going there. I had a chance to buy a 2010 Prius from a friend of ours that she's like one of these people that drives everywhere, but it's all like highway miles. So I think hers has like 300,000 miles on it, and they're not going to give her anything as a trade. And so I was going to offer her like 1,000, $1,500 for the thing and see if she'd take it. She probably would, because with 300,000 miles, it still has some life left in it, but nobody's going to give you any money for it. And I hope she's not here listening to it. No, I kid. I know she probably is. I think she actually sold it though. I think she got something different. I'll have to ask Mom. They keep in contact a lot. The Kia K5 is the one I really like right now. I'm not even familiar with that vehicle. I try to stick to domestics because at the end of the day, my father is still a mechanic and he can do some repairs, but he can only work on domestic vehicles because that's what he has experience with. Oh, it's the TV. I keep hearing something from the next room. I couldn't figure out what it was. All right, folks. I think we're going to end it here in a couple of minutes. Anybody have any questions or anything for me? I wanted to thank Mark again for the $5 super chat. Always appreciated. Just don't have too much else to talk about tonight. Can't believe it's after 9 already. Yeesh. Dabbler's Buffet. By the way, it seems like a lot of the subscribers aren't getting notifications on your channel, and I think that has to do with the videos made for kids option, which is not selected on my channel. I know there's something going on with that. I still haven't figured it out. Yeah, but that is not that's definitely not checked on my channel. I don't know why. Leonard Kilborn, how's the PC refurb business? Slow right now. I actually haven't sold a computer in probably 2 or 3 weeks. I sold my van the other day. That was the big thing that I sold this month, was that van. I think it's summer. Because it's summer, a lot of people are on vacation. Summers are always kind of slow, but it should pick back up soon. Go to Google image search and the Sapphire Blue Kia K5, the sharp-looking vehicle. I'm still getting the oil changed on my 2008 Chevy HHR every 3,000 miles, even though Jiffy Lube says every 5,000 miles. Good man, good man. Definitely want to do it every 3,000, especially on something like that, which I think it's either I think it's a 4-cylinder. Those tend to wear out quicker if you don't do your oil changes. But if you do your oil changes, they could last a really, really long time. Sapphire Blue Kia K5. Oh, okay. That's not what I was thinking at all. I'm looking up the images right now. It's a pretty sharp looking vehicle. Like the lines, it reminds me of it almost reminds me of the taillights, remind me of like a Chevy Cruze, like a newer model Chevy Cruze, the front taillights anyway. Yeah, and the body line kind of reminds me of a Veloster, if you know what I mean. Kind of has that same curvature. What was that? A Hyundai? Hyundai made that Veloster. That's a nice looking vehicle. GM says you do the oil change on my 2018 Silverado every 7,500 miles, but I do it at 5K. Known for there because they're known for lifter issues. So that's got to be the 5.3 in that one, right? 5.3 liter. Wow, you and I have the same year vehicle now. My van's a 2018. George Stewart goes, go out and find your beautiful town car you sold. That was a honey. Yeah, that was. I traded that in to the dealer when I got my first van. He got a really good deal with that. I think he only gave me like $1,500 for that thing. I never should have gotten rid of that town car. That's a vehicle I would have kept if I had a chance to do it over now. But honestly, if I remember correctly, I think the paint was starting to fade on the trunk and the roof on that. If I remember correctly, it was either mine was or Dad's was, or both. I don't remember. You sold your Silverado, Eric? I didn't know that. The Silverado was sold in April. I rarely miss it. You have to explain that to me because you said you just okay. You'll have to explain that one to me. I'm not sure where you were going there. Where would the best place for me to get the body on my 2008 HHR repainted? Um, I went to a place called Candies and Chrome, and that's here off of Cavalier Boulevard, but they've actually changed owners and trying to see what they're going under now. They still going under Candies and Chrome. Yeah, yeah, they are. I'm going to share the link, Mark. You can click on it, and I think you'll be able to get their number that way. This is their Facebook page, too. So the first one is their actual website, and the second link I'm sharing here is for their Facebook page. And they're at 3739 Sweet B Holland Boulevard in Chesapeake. It's part of Cavalier Manor. And like I said, it's not, I don't think it's called Candies and Chrome anymore, but I believe the number is still the same. If not, you can always message me later on, and I'll fix that for you. But forgive me, I can't remember the name, the new name they're going under. Is there one in Newport News? There might be a Mako. Uh, there might be a Mako in Newport News. They're always a good option. Yep, looks like there's one on 827 West Pembroke Boulevard in Hampton. There you go. Yep, 827 West Pembroke Avenue, Hampton, Virginia. There's a Mako, and they're really good. They tend to do a good job. Now, you don't want to get their lowest tier paint job because it's not going to last that long. You try to get like the mid tier one or the high tier one if you can. If you can afford it, I should say. Hey Matt, do you know if 720p resolution is common today? Because I've thought about including 720p monitors with the PCs I'm selling, but I'm not sure. I know 1080p is still relevant, however. Um, I do a little bit of both. When I get monitors in, I just have to get what I can get. Usually it's from thrift stores or it's from a company that's liquidating and I go and buy them out. So, yeah, I would say 720p definitely bare minimum. So you're looking at 720p being, what is that? 1366 by 768. But most monitors, even an older widescreen monitor nowadays, is still going to be something like 1680 by 1080, which is, like, I guess if I had to give it a number, would be like 960p or something like that. So, yeah, as long as it's 720p, then you're usually fine. George Stewart, it's because they make too many models. Mercedes and BMW used to just have 3 models. That's part of it. And they used to over engineer the ones that they had. I mean, probably I would say Mercedes bests and BMW's best vehicles were probably 70s and 80s. Probably BMW more in the 80s, mid to late 80s. Mercedes probably mid 70s to mid 80s would be my picks for some of the best Mercedes. Mercedes turbo diesels from anywhere from like 78 to like 85, even up into the early 90s, were incredibly well built vehicles. Now, granted, they couldn't get out of their own way to save their lives. They didn't have a lot of power. But they were very well made vehicles. Things like the BMW that you would used to see in Moonlighting. What was that? The BMW 5 Series, I think it was, like from 1985, 1984. I mean, these were incredibly well-built vehicles. But nowadays, they're junk. I mean, the modern Mercedes, just watch Monkey Wrench Mike or Auto Auction Rebuilds. I mean, they'll tell you the modern Mercedes vehicles are just total garbage. They don't hold up. They tend to suffer from premature suspension failures, engine failures. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And with that, folks, I'm going to end the live stream here. I am starting to lose my voice. I'm getting a little bit tired. I need to get something to drink. I hope everybody enjoyed this. Please continue to like and subscribe. I'm going to try to do one of these at least 2 or 3 times a week, as long as I'm up and motivated to do it. Thanks for coming. And as always, have a blessed day, everybody.